On February 16, 1912, a little girl was looking out the window of a house in Barcelona. It seems normal, but the story behind that girl was closer to fantasy than reality. So when one of the women saw her, she quickly reported it to the police. After the police intervened, the horrors began to appear. The subject of our episode today is a woman devoid of all human feeling. She lived 20 years luring children and killing them. She is Enriqueta Marti, the Barcelona vampire. Before we start today's story, please subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Enriqueta was born in Catalonia in 1868. History books did not mention much about the beginning of her life except that she left her hometown and headed to Barcelona to work as a nanny. But the financial return did not meet her ambition, so she went to work as a prostitute. In 1909, Enriqueta opened her own brothel, but this house was not like other brothels. Because during her previous work she had made friends with the elite of Barcelona society, and unfortunately these monsters preferred children. For this reason, she opened her own brothel and was quickly able to gain clients. The question is, how did you manage to kidnap so many children? Enriqueta would visit the slums of Barcelona disguised as a beggar, and when she found unaccompanied children, she would lure them with candy and take them to her brothel. During the night, she visits upscale nightclubs to look for wealthy clients to tell them that she got their favorite category. This was not the only reason for Enriqueta's fame. She was known as a witch doctor before she opened the brothel, where she used magic and claimed to treat incurable diseases using preparations made from 100% natural materials. Have you guessed what the source of her natural products was? Yes, unfortunately, the source of their natural products is made from children's organs. According to the rumor of this human monster, drinking the blood of children treated tuberculosis, which was widespread at the time. She was also offering cosmetics and claiming to treat aging. The disaster was that the wealthy were rushing to buy these products in huge sums, unaware that what they were buying was made from the blood and bones of innocent children who died at the hands of this human monster. Enriqueta's brothel, frequented by the elite of Barcelona society, granted her something resembling diplomatic immunity. This became clear when she was arrested in 1910 on charges of exploiting children in sexual acts, but thanks to her connections with the elite of society, she was not prosecuted, was released, and returned to continue her criminal activity. The beginning of the end was on February 10, 1912, when Enriqueta kidnapped a girl from the street whom she thought was homeless, called Teresita Guattart. But the matter was different this time. The family of that girl did not remain silent about the disappearance of their daughter, and over the course of that week, a search was underway in every inch of the city to find the girl, especially after the criticism directed at the authorities for neglecting the issue of the disappearance of children for 20 years. And on February 7th, a woman named Claudia saw a little girl peeking out of the window of the house next to her. She was surprised by this, as she had never seen any crumbs in that house before. So she asked her neighbor, the owner of that house, about that child, but her neighbor ignored her question and pushed the crumbs away from the window. This woman was Enriqueta Marti, and this behavior surprised her neighbor Claudia, so she reported her to the police. In the same day, the police began searching for Enriqueta, and after they found her in one of the upscale lounges in Barcelona, they told her that they had received complaints against her about the presence of chickens in her apartment. Enriqueta was surprised by this accusation, but she did not object and accompanied the police to her apartment, thinking that they would do a simple exploration and leave. Here was the surprise. The police not only found the child Teresita, but they also found another child named Angelita. The child Teresita told police that Enriqueta lured her with candy, took her to the apartment, shaved her hair, and told her to consider her from now on as her mother. As for the child, Angelita, she did not remember her family, and for this reason Enriqueta insisted that she was her daughter from her ex-husband. But her ex-husband told the police that he divorced her years ago and did not have any children with her. After a long interrogation, Enriqueta admitted that she had kidnapped the child from one of her friends since his birth. Not only that, the police found 50 vials containing crushed bones, hair, and children's blood. In the same room, they found books made of animal skins containing talismans and recipes for preparing medicines using human organs. The police searched all the apartments in which this human monster lived, and they were all filled with human remains. In the garden of a house, the police found the skull of a child whose age was determined by forensic medicine to be 3 years old. While Enriqueta was detained awaiting trial, she attempted suicide by cutting the arteries in her hands. For this reason, the families were demanding that the authorities place her under strict protection to prevent her from committing suicide, so that she could be executed publicly in retaliation for what she did to innocent children. But this did not happen. Marquita was hanged by her colleagues in prison before her trial. Many theories have been spread to explain this execution, but the prevailing opinion, which was included in newspapers and magazines, is that the female prisoners were paid to kill Enriqueta by her wealthy and influential clients to prevent her from mentioning their names and exposing their vile desires. The police report, aiming to silence public opinion, listed Enriqueta's cause of death as bladder cancer. The death of the Barcelona vampire was officially announced on May 12, 1913, thus bringing down the curtain on one of the most heinous crimes of the era without being able to determine the number of victims of this human monster.